"I can't hold it in anymore," she gasped. The cowboy hesitated, and then did something horrifying. The night wind scraped across the empty plains, as if it carried warnings from a world too old to understand. Emma clutched the reins of her trembling horse, her breath unsteady, her eyes constantly darting back over her shoulder. Every rustle, every whisper of grass, sounded like danger. Behind her, the ranch lights were shrinking, and with them, the chance she had to survive. For weeks she tried to hide it. The bruises, the silence, the terror that lived in her chest like a trapped animal. She thought she could handle it alone. She thought the ranch hands wouldn't notice. She thought her stepfather would eventually tire. But he didn't. And tonight, after she told him she wanted to leave for good, his rage burst like wildfire. He didn't yell. He didn't argue. He just reached for his belt, the same way he always did when he wanted control. That was when she ran. But running across open land at night came with its own dangers. The moon was a thin silver cut in the sky. Wolves howled. And somewhere behind her, she knew he was following. When her horse stumbled, she almost fell. But before she could panic again, she saw a faint lantern swinging near an abandoned cattle fence. A man stood beside it, tall, broad-shouldered, shadowed beneath a dusty hat. A cowboy. Alone in the dark. Emma froze. He didn't speak at first. He simply stepped forward, the lantern glow crawling across his weathered features, mud-dusted boots, thick gloves, a scar down his jawline. He looked like someone carved straight out of the land. Dangerous. Quiet. Unpredictable. "You look lost," he finally said, voice low and steady. She swallowed hard. I can't hold it in anymore," she gasped, her heartbeat pounding so loudly she could hardly hear herself. "Someone's after me. Please help." The cowboy hesitated, his fingers tightening around the lantern handle. His eyes dragged from her shaking hands to the bruise half hidden under her collar. Something flickered in those eyes. Anger, pity, recognition. She couldn't tell which. Then slowly he nodded. "Come with me." Emma didn't know if she could trust him, but she had no choice. She followed as he led her toward an old line cabin tucked among the trees. He moved with a quiet confidence that made her feel both safer and more afraid at the same time. The cabin door creaked open. The smell of old wood and cold ashes drifted out. "Sit," he ordered softly. She did, watching him carefully as he hung the lantern, locked the door, then moved deeper inside, searching for something. Emma's mind raced. Who was this man? Why was he alone out here? Was she safer with him, or had she just walked into something worse? The floorboards groaned as he returned, a bundle in his hands. Before she could speak, he knelt beside her. Emma flinched. "It's just medicine," he said. She stared at him, eyes wide. "Why are you helping me?" His expression didn't change. "Because someone once helped me when nobody else would." Her breath trembled. She wanted to believe him. Needed to. But something about the way he kept looking toward the window made her chest tighten. Then suddenly, a boot step outside. Heavy. Slow. Close. Emma's stomach dropped. The cowboy extinguished the lantern instantly, plunging them into darkness. He pressed a finger to his lips, signaling her to stay silent. The air thickened. Emma could hear her pulse pounding in her ears. Another step. Then a fist slammed against the cabin door. "Open it!" A deep voice growled. Her stepfather. "I know she's in there." Emma's lungs tightened. She wanted to scream, but fear sealed her throat. The cowboy didn't move. Didn't breathe. He simply waited. The door crashed again. Harder. More violent. "Open it, or I break it down." Emma shook uncontrollably. She whispered, barely audible, "Please don't let him take me." Then the cowboy stood up, silent as a shadow, and did something Emma never expected. He walked to the door, unlocked it, and opened it himself. Emma's heart stopped. "No!" Her stepfather stormed inside, fury twisting his face. The cowboy stepped aside, letting him pass, like he was delivering her straight into the man's hands. Emma scrambled back until her spine hit the wall. Her stepfather reached for her, face contorted with triumph. And then, the cowboy moved. Fast, violent, precise. He grabbed her stepfather by the collar and slammed him against the cabin beam, so hard the entire structure shuddered. Her stepfather cursed, swinging a fist, but the cowboy caught it effortlessly, twisting his arm until a sickening crack echoed through the cabin. "You lay another hand on her," the cowboy growled, voice shaking with a rage Emma had never heard before, "and I'll make sure you never walk this land again." Her stepfather tried to fight, but he was no match. Within seconds, he was on the floor, groaning, defeated. Emma couldn't breathe. The cowboy stood over the fallen man, chest heaving, fist still clenched, as if holding back something monstrous, something horrifying, something he'd sworn he'd never unleash unless absolutely necessary. And tonight, it had been necessary. When he finally turned to her, his expression softened, the storm fading from his eyes. "You're safe now," he said quietly. Emma felt the truth in those words. For the first time in years, her lungs filled without pain. Her shoulders dropped. Her heartbeat slowed. She was safe. But safety came with decisions. "What do I do now?" she whispered. The cowboy stepped closer, offering his hand. "You start over. Far from here. I'll take you to town at sunrise. You don't ever have to come back." Emma looked at his hand, rough, scarred, dangerous, and yet the only hand that had ever reached for her without wanting to take something in return. She took it, and as the first light of dawn crept over the horizon, she rode away with the cowboy, leaving behind the nightmare that once owned her life. Sometimes survival isn't about running. Sometimes it's about finally choosing who stands beside you. If you want more stories like this, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Your support keeps these powerful stories coming. Thank you for being here.